Alright, so we're making kimchi. Alright, so we're making kimchi today. So I'm going to get my rice paste started. So I'm just going to do about a tablespoon of rice flour with a tablespoon of water, and basically we just want this to cook and thicken, because this is how we're going to thicken our chili paste for our kimchi. So very important, when you're doing kimchi, you want to make sure that you extract as much of the liquid out of the cabbage, or in this case radish, as possible. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt to this first batch, smooth it around, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're adding equal parts of sugar and salt, right? And then for the second batch, same thing, 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now this is gonna give it a neutral sweet to savoriness. If you like your kimchi a little bit sweeter, then I suggest you add a little bit more sugar, right? I like mine a little sweeter, so I add a little bit more sugar, right? And we want this to sit on the side for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we rinse it off, and from there we're good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We have about maybe 5 to 8 minutes left for extracting the liquids from our radish. I went outside and I picked some beautiful scallions from my garden. I can't wait to use these. All right, and then I have an Asian pear right here. So I'm just gonna grate these, and I'm gonna add this to my kimchi, right? Kimchi works really well with Asian pear, especially that natural sweetness. And you wanna get one of the ones that are really ripe and soft, because you kinda want the pear to melt into the kimchi. So we have our grated Asian pear on the side, right? We have the rice cooked already, which is super important. That's basically a paste. And now it's just a matter of combining all of the ingredients and taking care of the radishes. Now I say wash the radishes because sometimes you might put too much salt or too much sugar, and the best way to fix that is to wash it off. You don't necessarily have to wash it off, and if you don't want to wash off the salt that you're adding, then maybe you can put less salt and less sugar, all right? Totally up to you. Let's cut our scallions. Actually, before we cut our scallions, we need to get our garlic ready, all right? Super important. So I'm just gonna smash these a little bit so I can peel them a little bit easier. Smashing them like that just makes it really easy to peel, you know what I mean? See? Done. And obviously, if you're gonna mince the garlic, it's okay to smash it, but if you want like beautiful slices of whole garlic, then that's not your best option. Then you might as well just peel it from the top or use the shaking method. All right, so now we're gonna mince our garlic. All right, you wanna make sure that when you're mincing the garlic that you're actually paying attention so you don't chop off your fingers. All right, it might look like easy peasy lemon squeezy, but this is years of practicing, okay, ladies and gentlemen? So make sure you're not doing this, all right? We don't want any hospital visits unnecessarily, all right? Always keep your fingers free and away. Even when you're doing this, all fingers are pointing up and away from the blade, all right? Super important. Okie dokie. Okay, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you mince garlic. All right, and this is going to go into our delicious kimchi, because you can't have kimchi without some fresh garlic. all right? And you want to get this nice and fine. So you can throw this into a, Robocool, Vitamix, Vitaprep, whatever you have, a food processor, anything that would mince it, or you can use one of those individual garlic crushers and crush it to oblivion. Totally depends. All right. Traditional kimchi obviously uses shrimp, seafood, all those different kind of things, fish sauce to really make the kimchi pop, right? Being that we do things here that are all plants, we have to come up with our version of fish sauce and things like that. So I actually thought I had a bunch of soy sauce. I don't. So I'm gonna do a mix here to make my own concoction, right? So I have some Golden Mountain sauce, which is, to me, has a little bit more umami. It's a little bit more closer to a fish sauce, kind of soy sauce, right? I'm gonna add some liquid aminos to this as well. And I'm doing enough to make about a quarter cup, right? To that, I'm gonna also add some sesame oil, super important, because I like my kimchi to taste, I like sesame seeds in there, I like sesame oil in there. So, that's what I like to put in mine. So this, and I have a little bit of ginger juice. Now, I juice my ginger and I keep it in the freezer. So I just took about 2 teaspoons worth of ginger. It's just straight up ginger, no water added to it, just straight up ginger. And I pureed that. So that's what's in here as well. So I'm actually going to add my garlic to this, right? And give this a little mix. Once the frozen ginger is melted, this is gonna go right into my radish. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my scallions ready. And that's it, nothing fancy, right? Because normally they'll do sticks that are like this big for the kimchi, but I don't really like my scallions that long in anything I cook. So, I rather cut small pieces. So that's what we're gonna do, right? Fold these up so we're cutting less. Boom. Just like that, we're done, right? And this will get added into all of that once I do the actual mixing, right? So let me go drain off this excess liquid that's in here, and then we can go from there. I don't like when my kimchi is too watery, especially with daikon, because there's not a lot to kind of, there's no leaves, there's no crevices, there's nothing like that. What you see is what you get. So that's another reason why I use the paste, because the paste allows me to make the entire marinade into a paste and then put that on top of the radish so it coats the radishes, versus it just sitting in a kind of brine, and then when you take out a radish, all of that beautiful flavor runs off of the radish. You dig? We have our rice paste here. I'm going to add the soy, ginger, garlic situation to it. All right, and just kind of mix everything. All right, now we have this really nice paste. And it smells really good. We're going to add our pear. All right, pear's in, and then we're gonna go with our chili. I like to eyeball this, so we're gonna go with about a cup of chili, because this is also not the spicy pepper. And then we're gonna do a little bit of the spicy chili. With the spicy, we're only going to go with about a half a tablespoon, because it packs a punch. And if we want it more spicy, then we can always add more chilies later. I just don't like when you get kimchi, or especially when people make it at home, they put too much of the chili powder or the chili flakes, and then it's just like really bitter, especially if it's stale, right? The chili. So you want to be careful with that as well. You want to make sure that the chili powder you're using is actually fresh, right? It's not expired. All right, a little bit more blue mountain in there, a little bit more liquid amino, and then a little bit more sesame oil, right? Because I love the sesame kick. We'll give that a nice gentle mix, right? I'm gonna add my scallions. And we're gonna mix this up Alright. Looks beautiful, right? That's how easy it is to make kimchi, ladies and gentlemen. The longer this sits, obviously the better it'll get. It looks good, it's beautiful. Look at that, right?